Now, political leaders from the North are calling on former President Goodluck Jonathan to join the 2027 presidential race. According to sources, the leaders are working behind the scene to convince the former president to run for presidency in the next election. The sources said that the recent comments by the governor Bauchi Bala Mohammed to the effect that he would not contest the election if Jonathan eventually caves in, noted that the governor's statement is beyond just any comment. This day learned that the scheming to persuade the former Nigerian leader to join the race was already in top gear, even though Jonathan is non-committal at the moment. Arise analyst Dayo Sobowale joins us now to speak on the plan, according to sources by the northern leaders, to convince former President Goodluck Jonathan to run come 2027. Good afternoon and welcome to Tuesday.
Good afternoon.
Yes, this is not the first time that we're hearing this. The last time we heard this news come out, it didn't catch enough wind to come to fruition. Do you think this time around the former president will bite at the cherry?
There's no smoke without fire. And I take it seriously. Although you have to look at the practicability of it. See, if you have a strategy, you must make that strategy work in your environment. In strategy management, what do they call it? The inseparability of strategy from the environment. So let us look at this proposal. Okay, Jonathan is now busy on international assignments, monitoring elections, brokering peace. You get me? And I hope he comes to the side of ECOWAS to do something there. So it is all right for people to want him to be there. But who are the people proposing? They say the North. Yeah. There is no North, whether you like it or not. The military made sure of that. If you look at our history, 1966, when they killed the Premier of the North and the Prime Minister of Nigeria, there was a counter coup when the North retaliated. And then the civil war ensued. Now, to make sure that the rest of the East does not follow Juku, we had these 12 states. Now we have 36 states. And of course, there is no homogeneous Arewa. They like to call it Arewa. There is no Arewa anymore. Get me? Because you know how many states you have in the North now. Even the Northeast, USSR was split into 6. So when people talk of the North, there is no North. There is no homogeneity. They cannot talk with one voice. You see, when I was in the civil service, there was this idea that Northerners are born to rule. They don't hide it from you. You get me? It's the arrogance of power. I'm telling you, there is no North. Nobody can speak from. You have North Central, you have Northeast, you have Northwest. No way they can speak with one voice. So, it's wishful thinking to envisage that. Let's leave it at that first.
Okay. Let's just see it as potential wishful thinking, Mr. Sobowale. But what does this move suggest about the current state of political alliances and power dynamics within the northern political establishment?
Yes, that's what I'm saying, that you cannot separate strategy from the environment. I've just spoken to you about the environment now, the Northeast, Northwest now. And they are all in various parties, not in the same party. You get me? And then let me go further. If they say they are even not satisfied with Tinubu, and they were not satisfied with Jonathan too, because you know when Buhari lost, first time, second time, he threatened blood and blue murder until Jonathan, like a sportsman, gamefully, your own sports now, gamefully succumbed to persuasion, and Buhari has been there since. So there is no North, I keep on saying that, and it is arrogance of power for people to come out. They have all sorts of bodies, Arewa, Elders Forum, Arewa. There is no North. The North collapsed the moment the army killed the real leadership of the North in parliamentary democracy. That's Amadou Bello, Tafawa Balewa. So there is no North. And anyway, what is the credential of the North in thinking it can rule Nigeria. Nigeria came to existence in 1940, amalgamation. And the amalgamation, those who did the amalgamation, the guy, was finding it costly to run the North. So that's why I merged it. Go and look at the history. They were going to use the surplus of the economic circumstances of the South to bring in the North. And I dare say it, yes, the North has been an albatross in the economic development of Nigeria. You saw the protests that lasted, and that for the 10-day protests. Okay? Look at the faces of the youths in the North. They are unemployed. The North has the largest number of out-of-school children in the world. You get me? The North has the Almajiri system. You see, they did not provide the education to their people. And we're having security more in the North. So let them make their own leadership responsive and welfareistic enough to take care of their people and not be threatening the rest of Nigeria that they are born to rule. Let's leave it at that for now.
All right, 2 questions. I hope time permits us to actually tackle them. But let's start it off by saying that, is this almost an admittance of a very grave mistake on the part of Nigerians and being misled by some political juggernaut and the political class that Goodluck Jonathan was a lame dog and was clueless as president? Because if people, this is not the first time, like we mentioned,
yes,
this is not the first time we are hearing people say, we need this man back. Because for them to say that, that is almost an admittance of a grave error that at a certain time, people peddled misinformation to think that Jonathan was weak and clueless about governance of Nigeria. And they've seen that things are better right now, or things were better then than they are right now, that things are deteriorating by each administration that has come after Jonathan. That is one.
What's your question now?
So that's my first question. Is it an admittance of a grave mistake? That's my question.
On the part of the political class?
Yes, on the back of some political class, one.
Yes.
And 2, are we saying that we can't find new people to govern this nation? And does this point to the fact that the way our political structure and the political system is almost difficult? It's almost like a camel passing through the eye of a needle for you to become a president from nowhere.
Now, let me comment now. You didn't really ask the question. You have solved the problem. Do you get my point now? You see, the political class wants to elongate its rule. It acts in its own self-interest. The political class has made access to power difficult for you and me and the rest of us, because you need 100 million naira to buy even a presidential ticket for any party. So that is that. I once said here, and I said it at a lecture given by Shetima before he became vice president, that Nigeria got independence and was freed from the shackle of colonialism. But it is now under the shackle of the political class. There is no greater example or manifestation of that than some people going to call Jonathan to come and contest for president again. They chased Jonathan literally out of office. You get me? But he lost in an election. But that's why I said there's no smoke without fire. Under the military, Obasanjo was on a private visit in South Africa, and they asked him a question that they have rumors that he will be the next president. He said, how many presidents do you want to make out of him? He became president. You remember? He became president for 8 years. Now, Jonathan, as a sportsman, relinquished power. And Jonathan is not, the way I know him, he's not a malicious person. People are just peddling his name. You get me? You know what Jonathan said? He said he would not like any Nigerian to lose his blood in order for him to sit in office. But it's a political system. And there is a democracy. Okay, politics is who gets what, when, and how. And you go to the field to say what you have to say. They have, they have flown a kite. So it is for us, and we have discussed it. The impracticability, undesirability of it, literally. Let's leave it like that.
Impracticability, undesirability from your lips to the viewers' ears. Thank you so much, Arising's analyst, Mr. Dayo Sobowale, for your analysis. We appreciate your time as always. Thank you.